Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and thanks for watching. Before I jump into this review, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe buttons, it really helps me grow this channel and continue putting out more content like this. With that, I'd like to get into this review where today I'm going to be going over my hiking boots that I wear for hiking and hunting, garden work even, and really my most versatile pair. Now these are Vivo Barefoot shoes. And before I get into it, wanted to ask you, if you're watching this, you're probably into the outdoors. As an outdoors person, when was the last time that you hiked around all day in whatever pair of boots that you have, got back to camp, took them off, and it was the best feeling in the world? Well, shouldn't necessarily feel that way. Your boots should work with your body and not be killing you at the end of the day. I will say that boots are a very personal thing. So that's to say, what fits some people might not fit other people. Some people like a really stiff boot, some like a really flexible boot, some like a high ankle, some like a short ankle. It's very, everyone's opinions on their boots are gonna be very different, which is why there's so many brands out there. But I'm here to tell you that I believe that if everyone wore these boots, they would fit every person that tried them. Now, I will say, that's not without a caveat. I wouldn't say to buy these boots, put them on, and go do a 20-mile hike, because your body is probably not used to barefoot shoes in general. If you wear shoes all day for work, especially dress shoes, if you wear shoes like athletic shoes with a soft rubber sole that's super squishy, you're probably gonna feel kind of uncomfortable wearing these at first. When I first got these boots, I was already wearing barefoot shoes in general, same brand, just different styles that look a little more like everyday shoes, so to give my feet time to adjust to the new way of walking. Now, barefoot shoes, they're different because they're made to how your body's supposed to walk. You'll notice there's not any kind of sole here. It's super thin. You feel everything underneath you, but it gives your body, your feet in particular, the ability to really work with you instead of against you. Think about the hiking boot you have now. It's probably pretty form-fitting, and when your foot goes in, it's probably squishing your toes together. It's a lot like your foot's going to be like this instead of like this, where your toes are at their best to be able to perform and do what they're supposed to do. It'd be a lot like sticking your hand in a mitt or a mitten when you're trying to fire a weapon, right? You don't fire a weapon like this, whether it's a bow or a rifle. You need your individual fingers to do their specialized job and what they do best. Same thing with your toes. You shouldn't just be sticking them into shoes and expecting them to be performing at their best. When your foot is in a shoe, especially a form-fitting boot from any other brand, it shortens the muscles on the top foot because it takes away the ability to use those muscles because you're relying heavily on the boot and its stiffness to do it for you, which then weakens the underside of your foot, which then shortens your calf, which then affects of course your ankles, goes up to your hips, affects your hips, starts affecting your lower back, and all the way up the chain. So barefoot shoes really take away all of that because it's returning your body to the ability to really work the way it's supposed to work, instead of essentially sticking your foot into two bricks just to keep you balanced, right? I noticed this on my last pair of boots where I was falling a lot more in them because my ankle wanted to move more, and the undersole of it my foot was so tight in there that I wasn't able to react to my environment fast enough, and I would fall a lot. I haven't fallen I have fallen in these a few times, but it was because I slipped, not because I lost balance, right? So all that said, all of that said about barefoot shoes in general, I'll jump into this particular boot and and kind of the rating system that I like to use for it. It's going over material, fit, comfort, range of use, ankle support, and durability. And hopefully at the end of this, you'll be able to decide if this is a boot you want to try for your next upcoming hiking seasons or hunting seasons or whatever you may do in the outdoors. So let's start with material. So I'll just grab one. Material is a wild hide leather. So Vivo makes this out of real wild cattle or ranch cattle. They source it from really great farms. Their website has a lot of great information on how they source their materials. They do have other types of boots on their website that are synthetic materials. I prefer the leather. I prefer the look of it, and honestly, that's kind of a big thing for me. I prefer the look of my boot to be one of those full grain leathers. I don't know, personally, I feel when I'm hunting, I feel more like one of the old school hunters wearing a full grain leather boot. With it being leather, of course, it is going to be waterproof. I've walked into water with these, have been fine as long as the water doesn't go too high and up and over and into the boot. You'll be fine. You'll stay pretty waterproof because of that leather. I always, after every really long hike, or if these get really beat up on a hike, I'll come back, make sure I clean them, put beeswax on them, or some kind of leather treatment so that they can stay feeling up supple and waterproof. Actually, it was just on a work retreat, and I was wearing these quite a bit, so I'll probably put a little bit more beeswax on them just to keep them nice and shiny, keep that leather look and finish to them. Next, fit and comfort. Said it at the opening, these are the most comfortable fitting shoes I've ever worn, and that's because my foot has space to breathe. I'm not jamming it in somewhere where I'm suffering with wearing these and can't wait to take them off. You'll notice the toe box is pretty wide. It allows your feet, instead of being like this, to really spread your toes to spread out, lets you feel every individual step, lets you feel the environment that you're walking in, to maintain balance and maintain a connection with your environment. You'll also notice how the sole on these really bends. Well, it's hard to do it with this because it's in the way, but the sole really bends all the way around, right? These aren't super stiff, and that's a good thing. It might not be a good thing if you've always been in stiff shoes all your life and you need to work towards this. That's okay. I do recommend working on it and working on your foot health, but these being super flexible is a big bonus to me because I'm super comfortable at the end of the night. I can wear these all day. I can drive in these instead of switching from my sandals or Crocs into these when I'm driving to getting out of the truck. I just keep these on because I'm so comfortable in them. I have no reason to take them off. So that's fit and comfort. Range of use. I've worn these here in Arizona. It's gonna be 100 today. I've worked at the little farm in 100 degrees, about 95, 100 degrees, and I was fine in these. I do think I'd be fine if it was like 120 hiking around in these. Most people probably shouldn't be hiking around in 120. That's a different story, but these can handle pretty high temperatures in terms of comfort. You're not gonna be sweating like crazy in these. I also have worn these in Colorado in about 20 degree weather. I was wearing gaiters with that. And gaiters help trap a little bit of the heat of your foot as it's trying to come out here. Obviously a gaiter goes up to sometimes your knee and helps trap a lot of that heat. So I have worn these down to 20 degrees and have been totally fine. My foot wasn't uncomfortable, I wasn't getting too cold. And I also think that is a big part of that is because it's not being squished together. I think before, when I would wear boots that would really squish my feet together, my feet would also go numb a little bit from the boots after extended wear. Combine that with it being cold and it would make it feel a little worse. So with these, my feet have room to breathe, have room for airflow. I'm able to wear gaiters in super cold weather. And I've been, I trust these from what I've used them in, 20 degrees up to 100 plus, I would say. They can probably go colder, to be honest with you. I know Vivo does make a cold weather boot for even lower temperatures. I haven't tried those yet, but I honestly don't feel the need to. I don't hunt or hike around in insanely cold weather, and I think I would trust these in the ranges and even lower than I stated. Ankle support. Interesting question. Most people think, oh, like I can only wear boots with really stiff ankle support because that's what I need because I have weak ankles. Well, you have weak ankles because you never trained your feet. That's point blank. If you train your feet to walk around barefoot or in these type of shoes where your feet have the ability to strengthen themselves, you don't need ankle support. I don't care what you think or what you've always used. If you work on your foot health, you don't need as much ankle support as you think you do. I've never twisted my ankle on these. I've never rolled my ankle on the mountain. I had a stiffer boot in the past. I was always rolling my ankle, not to the point where I couldn't finish or get off the mountain, but I was in some pain. I would step on something, the sole was thin, my foot was stuck close together, and I would step and my ankle would roll and I'd fall over. Not with these. You don't need ankle support because your toes are doing their job to keep you steady on the mountain. So while the ankle support, right, isn't super stiff, you don't need it to be, in my opinion, if you work on it. Going down to durability, that's the only thing that I would, wish it was a little better in this shoe. I have 2 pairs of these. I recently got the second pair in different sizes. Storing that at another time. But I have 2 pairs of these, and these are true to size here. I prefer my true to size ones versus the larger I typically wore when I was using a bigger sock. But these are true to size, and the durability has been great on these so far. My last pair of these, the durability was worn down in about a year, versus I would like a boot that's 200 plus to last me a little longer. But the caveat is Vivo I did get them from Vivo, which is their used website, and that's where they take a shoe back, they will refurbish it, and they'll make it like new, a little cheaper. And I wanted to try them out before I shelled out a full $250 on them. So I got them from Vivo, but they were great. I think I just wore them down because of the type of mountain I was hunting that particular year, the mountains I was hunting that particular year. But I do wish durability was a little better. One thing I will add to that though, they have a really great repair program. So if you do wear your shoes down, you can actually send them back to Vivo, and I think I want to say $25, maybe more. I'll put that in the comments or in the description. You can actually send it back. They will repair them and send them back to you, and they'll be like new, just like the Vivo program. That's why I used it, because I trusted them to make them like new, essentially. They'll still have, obviously the leather will have some scarring. They won't replace the leather, but they will replace the sole, which is great. So that is my review on the Vivo Barefoot shoes. They retail around $240, I think, is like the base price once you pay for shipping, because they are based in Europe, and pay for taxes and all of that. You're gonna end up looking at $260-ish, which is still on probably that mid-tier for boot prices. I've paid as much as $400 plus for boots. I've seen super cheap boots as cheap as $80. But I will say is take care of your feet. They are your most important weapon, most important safety net when you're out in the woods, hiking around, hunting, especially for long distances. The last thing you want is to get hurt out there and then hurt your feet out there and not be able to get back. Worst case scenario, as long as you can walk, you're able to be safe out there. So Vivo Barefoot, that's going to be my review on it. If you're interested in picking some of these up, I'll put the link in the bio. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just really love the boots. And again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, do what you got to do to help me keep growing this channel. Thank you.